Hey guys, we're joined in the house right now with Cezil and Lydelle, who are the writer-director of the film The Taking. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
How are you finding your time in Australia at the moment?
I think it's great. I mean, the people here are really cool. It's been fun. I haven't gone to the beach yet. Everyone's saying I need to go to the beach, so hopefully I'll be able to check that out.
Yeah, we've got world-class beaches. You've got to check it out. Get your tan on.
World-class beaches.
Beaches.
And
how was your film received, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, no, it's the experience is phenomenal. I think Dean is just one of those incredible people. Dean is the festival organizer, and he was able to put everything together. He's really supportive, really knows how to just support filmmakers. So that's been really, really cool. And yeah, we premiered our film last night. It sold out, so we were really excited about that. So that was really, really cool. But it was, you know, it's when you're going into a premiere, especially a world premiere, no one really has seen it, and it was kind of crazy to kind of see like how people reacted to something like that, because it's a different type of film, I would say. So.
Okay, so could you tell us a bit about your film for the people out there that haven't seen it yet?
Ooh, okay, yeah, well, well, The Taking is probably, it's a return to like really dark horror. Mm-hmm. We feel like horror's been a little lighthearted and commercialized, so we wanted to just kind of return to the roots and get really like visceral and cerebral, and just kind of like really keep the audience in a chokehold all the way through it. You know, there's not a light moment in this thing.
There are no jokes.
Yeah, nobody's happy.
There's no like funny games and where you see the naked chick kind of partying, you know, with just underwear on it. There isn't. Our shit's just fucking hard from the beginning, from the get-go. It's like you drop in like page 2, it's just blood and just horrible shit, dark evil things speaking. It's just very demonic and very much kind of homage to some of the satanic films that that I really like. Well, it's more when I think about satanic, I'm thinking more very like kind of speaking more to just the evil and the devil, demons inside of us. So it's more like stuff like that.
Probably about 3-4 months, but we write together, so it's just like every day, just boom.
We had the first script in a month.
Yeah.
So we started April, and by May 1st, we had a draft as far as like what we write really, really fast in terms of the development process. Is really, really, that's where most of the time is taken.
Right, the actual writing is quick. It takes like a week to bust out a script. Yeah. But it's the development that takes time. So
we had to like think like, how can we take this shit to the next level? How can we really put like some balls in it? We were really inspired by gosh, I keep forgetting his name. Alejandro Jodorowsky. He's from Chile, and he has a film out called The Holy Mountain, and he's just a really phenomenal creator. And he has this really great quote that he says, most filmmakers, and I'm paraphrasing kind of in a way, but he said most filmmakers, you know, they create movies. Most directors, they create movies using their eyes. I create movies using my balls. And so we wanted to create a movie with balls. And so when we're looking at that rough cut, does that represent balls? Are balls like right there? Yeah. The balls weren't out, you know? So the whole thing that we really had to do, we really had to kind of like really think back and really kind of go into like, how can we really, you know, kind of just drop the nuts out, and
that really does make sense.
Yeah.
To take it to the next level, especially if it's your first feature.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so after you had done the rough cut, what kind of steps did you have to take to start rewriting and shooting it all over again, calling the cast back? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, I mean, first stop was at the liquor store. You start there, and then you go back to the keyboard. And you know, we watched that rough. We hated it, but we watched it numerous times.
Mm-hmm. But after watching it so many times, do you kind of start thinking, oh, it's all right? Like, do you know what I mean? The more you watch it, it's kind of like
no. Yeah, because if we settled for anything less than what we'd be happy for, it's a failure.
Yeah,
you know. So that's just that simple. So yeah, we had to call the cast back. We had to shoot for about 9 more months. I mean, on the weekends because we have full-time jobs and we're funding it ourselves. So
and it wasn't like every weekend we're like shooting. It wasn't like that. It was we scheduled particular things that we wanted to shoot, and it took over the course of 9 months.
And we had to deal with the seasons changing. A lot of this is outside, so yeah.
People having haircuts and continuity.
Someone cut their hair off.
Remember that?
So we had to get a wig.
Ooh, it's the worst wig ever.
Yeah.
But you can't even tell. It was the worst wig in the world. But I don't know how we pulled that off.
So can you tell us a bit about the post process? And like, were you planning that while you're still shooting it over the 9 months? And how did that work?
Well, one thing that Lydelle and I used to do before we shot different scenes, we kind of storyboarded it, but storyboarded a different way where we would actually kind of shoot the setups. So that really helped. There was also, in terms of music, I think the best thing that really kind of helped kind of put the post-production process and bring it into play was the movie Drive by another someone I really admire, Nicholas
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, with Ryan Gosling. So the music behind that done by Cliff Martinez. He has one song in there, a track called Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
And listening to that song really started to kind of paint where this story really needed to go. And the story was really something that, when you let that music play, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but it's really dark and brooding. And, for me, what helps more than, like Lydelle likes to drink to kind of get into these dark places. I like to listen to dark music. And that kind of really started to get the brain going as to like what this thing's supposed to feel like and how it's supposed to come together. So that really helped the post-production process.
So on set, how many of you were there at one point in time? Like, of course, there will always be both of you guys, but was it always every weekend a packed crew, or just whatever shots you had to take, a limited crew?
It really fluctuated. I think through principal, this time we had the biggest crew. Say up to like 10, 12, 13. Oh no, there was one day where there's like 20, 30 people on set. I don't know how we managed that with our budget, but there's days like that.
Can you tell us your budget at all?
Yeah, sure. It was $13 for our principal photography.
Was it $13? It felt like it was $13.
Did I say $13?
Yes, $13K.
I meant $13,000. I apologize. Maybe because I felt like
that's what we had left when we were done making it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Can you tell us some of the opportunities that have come out of making this film that's out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for filmmakers to create a feature. It's unfortunate you can be very talented doing shorts and very talented doing a number of other things and music videos, etc. But I think when you want to paint on the biggest canvas out there, because filmmaking is the biggest canvas for any artist, you really have to create a feature to kind of show that you're ready to actually do that.
Right.
And once you do that, people start taking you a lot more seriously in terms of what you can do. And it's unfortunate. It doesn't mean that people who do not have features are not serious, but that's unfortunately that's just kind of like the model, at least the Western model, I would say, in Hollywood.
So from this, have you got distribution deals and etc.?
We've gotten interest, and we've had a few deals offered to us, which we're working on. I don't know if we're supposed to really name those things,
but these things are still open.
Yeah,
I mean,
we haven't signed any.
Contact us.
Yeah, we're definitely up for grabs. We haven't signed any papers yet, so we're talking to people. We haven't signed any papers.
I mean, we just finished the film in October. Of last year. So what is it? Are we in April? So it's like 6 months. So, the film is still fresh. It's still like a new thing for us in terms of, we just got out of post-production like October. And like November, you're still kind of like, just making the presses, the DVDs, the different deliverables for it. So you're still kind of a little bit into it, trying to protect the integrity of what was created. So, that's... Yeah.
Can I ask you, what is the biggest lesson that you've taken out of this whole entire journey?
I'd say for me, it's definitely take your time. Take your time, because there's just a few days where you rush, or you try to get shots in, and like things don't work out the way you want them to. in the end, you end up trying to redo those things. So just take your time. And actually, somebody I really respect was Martian, one of our friends who's a great DP. He said, you know, when you don't have a lot of money, time's your next best friend. You know what I mean? And so things that you would otherwise usually pay people to do, if you have time, you can learn to do it yourself. Right. Things of that nature. So the time I think.
Yeah. How do you see this?
The most important, well, two things. Most important would actually be hard work. I think that's the only thing that you can ever really depend on. Your creativity, your talent, that will only get you so far. And I think the masters and all the people that we all study, and we all know those names, like they were great because they kept working hard and like improving, studying their craft. So like, I think we were able to make this film that we all feel really proud of because we constantly pushed ourselves, we constantly stayed working, we constantly challenged ourselves. We bickered, we went back and forth, we disagreed a lot. You know, we really put ourselves out there to kind of make the best film possible. We put those extra dollars, chose not to eat, you know, to kind of make sure the film happened. So those little things, those little small things and constantly pushing, I think that's what I learned that can add to success.
Yeah. There was a quote that one of our buddies gave us who's a big influence to us, Josh Luna of the Luna Brothers, comic book creators, really good guys. And he said to me one day, he just said, Lydelle, hard work pays off. The work will show. And it might sound cliche, but like, no, it's not. That line, the work will show, I mean, it's been 2.5 years, but it's coming to fruition. Yeah. So, and it's definitely worked.
There's a huge power behind that line. So, and the power behind that line is the fact that you guys grew up together, and you admired him because of comic books. You wanted to get in that as well. But so he kind of started off in a different path in terms of creating comic books. Lydelle went into the path in terms of filmmaking, but in terms of creating comic books, this guy and his brother, they just lived down the road from where we grew up at, you know, and they worked hard and they just put out a comic, and then it got picked up from ABC as a sitcom, right?
Yeah,
the first one. Yeah. Second one got big, Girls, and then that became a huge sensation. And their third one that they picked up, Sword, which was like a huge phenomenon, everyone wanted it, is now going to be a 3-picture series done by Lakeshore, same people who did, what was it called, Underworld. So you're talking about now, they're running into anywhere of high end between an $80 million, $100 million per film that they've created for their series deal that they just landed within the past 4 months. So it's like someone so close to us then saying like, look, you know, people are paying me money for some shit I wrote in my pajamas, you know? But it's the fact about the work and the work ethic that they had, and that's how they were able to achieve and get that. So they're regular guys just like us, and so, you know, regular guys just trying to get the same type of success. That's really what it's about, you know?
And on that note, what's in the line for the future for you guys? What can we look forward to?
It's either going to be an action or horror.
It's either going to be action or horror. It's going to be one of those things. We got stories for both, and both of them are pretty badass.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like the horror one. It's going to be pretty sweet.
It's pretty dope. So maybe you see us here, you know, sooner than later.
Yeah, same time next year.
Not about that. Maybe we'll probably be shooting next year.
This time next year. I've seen in about 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, man.
Wishing you all the best for your film.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it so much.
Definitely.